Hello everyone and welcome back to another Fam 2 Cents cooking video. Today we are making shrimp and grits. This is my first real swing at this recipe and I do believe that it came out pretty good. The ingredients are fairly simple. Grits, bacon, half an onion, shrimp, garlic, Old Bay, salt, pepper, butter, cayenne, chicken broth, and parsley. Like I said, nothing too fancy. Very simple, quick and easy, and also very filling recipe. So let's stop beating around the bush and get down to it, shall we? Our first order of business here is to chop up your onion and your garlic if needed. The reason I say if needed is because a lot of times I use already minced garlic because it's just a lot easier to deal with. Some people will prefer to chop it themselves. That is totally fine, completely up to you. If you need to cut it, then go ahead and do so. If not, then you should be good to go. The onion doesn't need to be super finely diced or anything like that. I guess it depends on how much of a presence you want it to have in your dish. Just chop it up nicely. Next up, you're gonna take your bacon and go ahead and chop that up. We're gonna cook it in a pan this time around because we want to use that leftover bacon fat to cook our onions and our garlic. We're gonna toss that right in after the bacon's done. We're not making a whole lot, so there shouldn't be a lot of bacon grease left, but if there is, feel free to drain some of it so that way, you know, you don't just have like a greasy mess. You don't want this to be too greasy, or maybe you do, who knows? It's up to you. Our next order of business is to go ahead and fry your bacon. Cook it to the point to where you feel it's done. You know, if you like it a little bit crispier, then cook it to that point. If you like it a little less done than that, then cook it to that point. This is one of my favorite things about good home cooking, is the fact that everything isn't there's not a strict set of rules that you always have to adhere to. You can always finagle it to satisfy you and your family's cravings. So like I said, cook the bacon until you feel it's done, and then use that leftover grease, and we're gonna go ahead and get our onions and our garlic cooked off. Now, as I said, once your bacon is done, go ahead and toss your onions directly into that leftover bacon grease, and then we're going to go ahead and toss our garlic in there and give this a little saute until the onions start to become a little transparent, and then you're pretty much done there. You don't want the stuff to brown too much because it'll start getting a funky color, or once again, maybe you do. Cook it to your liking. Alright, at this time you want to go ahead and season your shrimp with a little salt and pepper and Old Bay before you add it to your onion and garlic mixture. I added a little butter here, but you don't have to. It just made getting it around there a little easier because it was starting to stick to the bottom of the pan. Not the shrimp, but the onion and garlic mixture. So I went ahead and tossed some butter in there just to get things moving. This is already cooked shrimp, so you don't have to cook it for very long. You can use not cooked shrimp if you want. It'll take a little longer to cook, but once it's pretty much done, cooked shrimp takes only about 3 to 4 minutes here, or already cooked shrimp to get the flavor infused. If you are using uncooked shrimp, it'll probably take 7 to 8 minutes. Alright, so finally it is time for the grits, which is the main event of this dish, or at least some seem to think so. You add 1 cup of grits to 4 cups of boiling chicken broth. Yes, that's right, chicken broth, not water. I do believe that it tastes better and it has a better end result, and you want to go ahead and turn that to medium low and cover and check on it occasionally and stir whenever you can. One thing that I did in this recipe that you don't have to do is our final step, and that is add a little bit of milk. It was like 1/4 a cup of milk and 2 tablespoons of butter, just at the end to give it kind of a creamier consistency, and that added a lot to it in my opinion. Totally up to you if you'd like to do that, but otherwise after about 6 or 7 minutes of cooking and stirring on medium low, it should be done and good to go. And there you have it, guys. After all of that, you have a wonderful bowl here of shrimp and grits. This was amazing. The taste was absolutely on point. I've never made grits with chicken broth before, so that turned out to be a really good idea. The shrimp and everything was really good. The bacon on top just added that extra added element and that kind of crunch towards the end that kind of brought everything together. I don't think it would have been the same without the bacon. It was just, it's really good. I fully understand now why this dish is so popular. I highly recommend you make this as soon as you can. Because it was definitely and absolutely worth it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.